Hey everyone, this video is going to be about how to organize a paragraph. So let's take a look together. In this video, we're going to answer these two questions. What is a paragraph? Let's make sure that we are clear and understand that first. And then, how should you organize a paragraph? And that can be in writing or in your speech. So I think this is important to review for everybody because it reminds us of the steps we take in language to build what we're saying and writing. So in the English language, we start with letters, right? There are 26 letters in our alphabet. We begin with a letter. Once we understand the letters and sounds, we can make words like school. Then once we understand vocabulary words, even basic vocabulary words, we can build sentences. For example, I like learning English with Kendra. Then, once we can make sentences, we can make paragraphs. Paragraphs are many sentences put together about one idea, about one topic. Usually, paragraphs are 4 to 6 sentences long. If you'd like to pause the video, you can read my paragraph here. This is about the ESL class that I currently teach. So now that we know what a paragraph is, let's talk about how to organize one. You would begin with a topic sentence. What is your paragraph about? What is the topic? What are you trying to explain? Then there are the details, okay? You can explain with details, with information about your topic. Then, after that, you write a conclusion sentence. This brings all of these details and explanations back together and reminds your reader or listener of the main idea. Another way to think about it is like a sandwich or a burger. So here is a burger, but here's a vegetarian sandwich if you'd prefer to look at that. So you begin with the top. That's your topic sentence, okay? That holds your paragraph together. What is it about? Then all of the delicious stuff in the middle are your details, examples, explanations, okay? It's the most important information. And it's also usually the most interesting. Okay. And then on the bottom, to keep the whole thing together, you have a conclusion sentence. The conclusion sentence, again, reminds us what was all of this about. So the topic sentence and the conclusion sentence are connected. The topic sentence says what you will talk about. You talk about it. And then the conclusion sentence says, again, what you talked about in this paragraph. So let's look at an example together. Let's write a paragraph or practice writing a paragraph about something familiar to you, something you know, something that's easy to talk about. My question is, where do you live? And tell about your home. Okay. If you'd like to try this activity, pause the video here. This is my example of how I answered that question. Where do I live? Okay. And I organized it. Here's my topic sentence. One. Everything in blue are the details and explanations. And then this orange section is my conclusion sentence. Okay. So you can see how mine came together. Let's take a look. I live in Rochester, New York. That answers the question. Where do you live? I live in Rochester, New York. But now let me give more details and examples. I live in a white house close to Lake Ontario. My house has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This is very good for my family. I also have a porch and toys in the yard for my kids. I really like living with my family in Rochester. Okay. So this is a really good example. Well, because I wrote it, but it's a good example of taking a simple topic, right? A simple question, where do you live? And expanding it using more of what you already know and can do. So we've got the topic sentence that answers the question. All right. Topic sentence. Then we've got a bunch of details, things that might be more interesting to you. Okay. And then my conclusion. I remind you that all of this is why I like living in Rochester, New York. Okay. So this is a really nice example as well of how you can make a paragraph in writing, but you can also do this in speaking. Oftentimes, especially if you are new to English or learning English, when someone asks a question, you just answer. Where do you live? Rochester. This is a nice opportunity to, again, use all the vocabulary and information that you already know to expand your responses. This is important in conversations, in writing, and it will be important for future jobs and any future education you want to try. Okay. So, this again is how to make a paragraph and how to organize it. Thank you.